We are coming together to be able to help raise awareness around a beautiful story of collaboration in our community, to be able to support the Schaumburg Police Department. Like when we collaborate, especially for the greater good, things change.
Yep.
It's a common goal, shared purpose, that is very important.
That is. It's like just asking any employee of any company, why are they there?
Build a good community, invest.
You want to help the community improve.
Very
you want to
important.
help the company improve. But in this case, the community, you want to help it improve. And you feel like you're helping move that needle forward.
It's what we're doing right now today. It's, hey, I know an electrician, we know a painter. And really when you tap people on the shoulder and you ask, would you like to participate and be a part of something like this? I don't know anyone that would say no. I don't want to. They just need the opportunities. And I think we have the will to be able to bring those things forward and continue to do really goodwill throughout the community.
I agree.
One small act of kindness can make such a massive impact.
True.
Right? A bigger impact.
Hey, what's going on, friends? Jason here with Love Local Chicagoland. Super excited to be here in Schaumburg today with good friend Samir. He's the owner and founder of Vasco's Peri Peri. We are coming together to be able to help raise awareness around a beautiful story of collaboration in our community, to be able to support the Schaumburg Police Department. You see, they have a quality of life room that they need built. And they also need a chair to be able to help them with their mental health and to be able to live in full spirit. If you're listening to Love Local Chicagoland, we believe in taking care of the whole self, body, mind, and spirit. And we hope that today we get to touch base on why that's important, but also why collaboration is the key to success. The story here and the people that you're going to meet right here in Vasco's Peri Peri in Schaumburg with Samir, that you're going to see a beautiful story of people coming together from all different walks of life with different skill sets that are business owners in our community who want to be able to make a difference. You see, you've been hearing me say we're stronger together for the last 5 years, and we mean it. And we're here today to be able to bring this story to life because we think it's beautiful and we think you need to know about it. But thank you, Samir, for being a part of this show and helping us get this awareness out to be able to showcase this collaboration and really to be able to help amplify this story and with hopes of being able to inspire others. But thank you, brother.
It's a pleasure to be on the show and podcast, but thank you so much for coming out and doing this great work together, for the participating in a noble work. So thank you, Jason.
But my pleasure, man. And it's a full effort with us on Love Local Chicagoland. We got Cole behind the camera today, and he has a production team that helps us put all this stuff together. And for that, we're truly grateful. But we couldn't do this without business owners like yourself who believe that if we collaborate, if we raise stories, if we put our money where our mouth is, that we could create thriving communities. You have something that is kind of the foundation of what we're going to be building upon to be able to help raise funds for the Schaumburg Police Department. And it's called Vasco's Care Day. Can you tell our audience a little bit about Vasco's Care Day?
Sure. So Vasco's Care Day, it's something very close to my heart. It's about I'm always a non-profit advocate, and some reason it's very close to me. So what we do on a Vasco's Care Day, it's basically a Vasco's Community Care Day. So this Vasco's Community Care Day, generally we celebrate every month once, partner with the local non-profit organizations, and we donate our 20% open to close sales to them. So in that, we create our content for them, we post it, public it, and it's not something that we keep it limited or you have to mention it or not. With the open to close sales, we donate it, and we've been partnered with so many organizations so far. It was a great fun, and I have learned a lot from these nonprofits that how important it is for the community.
I think it's powerful when businesses, really try to be able to come from a place of philanthropy. And how can they be a part of a solution to be able to help make sure we live in thriving communities? True. Normally on these Vasco's Care Day, which is this one that we're going to be talking about a lot, it's going to be on October 28th, right. There's 20% of the proceeds. But for the Schaumburg Police Department, for this room to be able to come to life, you're giving 100% of the proceeds, right? But why are you giving 100% to be able to support the Schaumburg Police Department? Why is that important to you?
I don't think I have a second thought all that. It's a blink of an eye because of you and me and our kids. All of us, we are safe because of these heroes, So It's off to them.
Amen, brother. Amen. When you think about collaboration with businesses, nonprofits, communities coming together, why do you believe that kind of connection is so powerful?
So definitely when you say this, personally me, I believe that as a myself also a business owner also, it's very important to collaborate with these things and step up and do things for the community, and especially these heroes, because what they do, they make sure that we are safe in the community, we can walk around, our kids are safe, and I mean they are doing their job tirelessly throughout around the clock, and because of them we are living a good life. So all the hits off and all the salutes to them. So God bless.
It was you just touched on something that to me is probably gonna be a part of this conversation today. In each one of the prep calls, to be able to put these messages together, I would say each of them, and a few of them, people that have lived here in Schaumburg for quite a long time, really came from a place of like, they help us, they support us, they keep us safe in our local communities. And that's so important. And in today's world, where I feel like being stuck in an algorithm could get you pulled in other directions, we get to really bring the story to life to understand that like mental health is important. Taking care of your body is important. Taking care of your mind is important. But it's important for all of us, and especially for our police and for our first responders that deal with traumas and things that we have never, we don't have to deal with as restaurant owners, as media company guys.
Definitely.
So have a place for peace.
Yes.
Have a place to be able to regroup. It's so important. So thank you for touching base on that. Getting ready to bring in Raghu with Always Be Connecting here. But one last question for you before we dive into the show. What do you hope people take away from seeing this project come together?
My hope for this, that people can see from this collaboration that this is not just the room, but it's a symbol of how community people comes together, business owners, community members, and non-profit organizations. When we come together, we can create a great community together, and how we can make a great impact to the community. And the most importantly, it's not about we just wanna build one room, but we wanna leave a message, a legacy to our kids also, that hey, you know what, get involved in the community, work out with something with the community, build something together, invest in the community. And I definitely believe that giving back to the community, it's not a favor, it's a moral responsibility for every individual, so that's my strong belief.
Yeah, that is really beautiful. Build something strong together.
It is important.
Yeah. And it definitely is important, and giving back. And I think that's a perfect segue to be able to bring in Raghu from Always Be Connecting, who lives out those principles within his business. So let's welcome Raghu. Let's get Raghu into the show. All right, Samir, I'm excited to be able to talk to our boy Raghu. Raghu, Always Be Connecting does a lot of amazing things in the community to be able to connect people and help them build deeper relationships and help them be able to win. And I think you see all that.
Oh, definitely, right? Yes. Raghu is someone that we all know,
Yeah, he's I could honestly say I met him in 2020, and my life positively changed just by getting to know him and his genuine heart. To see him work collectively together to be able to help bring us together with, also Ritesh is a part of this next part of the conversation. You'll get to hear that as well. To me, it should be inspiring for the community, because it shows when we talk to each other and support each other, and we look and think about the end in mind, that we can do anything that we put our minds to, especially when big hearts are at the table. But I don't want to fill Raghu's head any more bigger than it already is. Raghu Sundara, dude, what's up, man?
What's going on? How are you guys?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Excellent. This is a great thing to be a part of, and I'm excited to do this. I can't wait to see it unfold.
It's pretty beautiful. This part in this time that we've put into it so far has really inspired me, and a lot of it really comes together with, like, when we collaborate, we win, and when we come from different perspectives, different walks, we win, and that's a big part of your proponent. It's a part of what we'll talk about a little bit more today. I was in the room with you when this idea came into play, giving group board meeting where we help serve pets, vets, and kids. We were talking about this as being an option for one of our projects, but we decided it wasn't the perfect fit for our organization, but there was people in that room that wanted to make this happen. and put it together. And you just talk and share with the audience a little bit about that story.
Yeah. We were, like you said, we were in the Giving Group board meeting, and we figured out that this initiative for the police department of Schaumburg wasn't a direct fit within the Pets, Vets, or Kids initiatives of Giving Group. So, but Ritesh had brought it up to me to see if I wanted to take it over as far as Always Be Connecting goes. Just try to use my superpowers of bringing people together for one common cause, because he already had the initiative, the ask from Lieutenant Rose. And so he put me in touch with Lieutenant Rose just shortly after that. Lieutenant Rose and I met back in early August for lunch. And he told me everything, the idea about the quality of life room for the Schaumburg Police Department and the why behind it. Like, what was the purpose and how forward thinking it is. I thought of how amazing it was. And then he told me all the resources, the money commitment for it. And I was like, wow. I didn't have an answer at that moment. But, right then and there, I reached out to Dan Orger of DJ's Auto Service, and Ritesh reached right back out to him.
Which are huge givers.
Yeah.
DJ's Auto right here in Schaumburg,
Yep.
over 30 years in business.
Yep.
And then Ritesh, which is obviously a leader in the Giving Group, but also runs his business with fractional HR.
Yep.
So this isn't necessarily our lane, but it was more of the hearts that were coming together to be able to solve these problems. From my perception, seeing you all kind of go and each building solutions and to be able to make this happen was super inspiring. And to see it come together gave me so much hope about what we can do is if we support each other as community members.
And the last piece of the puzzle was Bear Construction. I actually had my one of my events at their showroom.
Nice.
And at their headquarters.
Bear Den or?
The Bear Den.
Because that room is like off the chain.
Yeah, it was actually in the Bear Den.
Cool.
So, and then I was able to bring in Lieutenant Rose to actually speak at the event early in August. And he talked about the initiative, the quality of life room. And we were talking about all the keys to it, the key components to it, and what we needed. And Bear Construction jumped right in. Jim, the owner, Alicia, and Adam, those three jumped right in, right there on the spot, and said, we are committing to this much monetary.
Oh, wow.
And then also the actual undertaking of the project. And it's just amazing what they're going to be doing for this, because they're going to make sure that it gets put into, color. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. So we really appreciate Bear for jumping on board. And that was actually the last piece of the puzzle to it. So I'm really proud to have, I've said that, that came from there. And I'm just lucky to have Bear Construction that jumped on to take that initiative on.
Bear Construction, to me, I've gotten to know them over the years, and one, they're very passionate around mental health, and they'll talk about that when they get to their part of this story. But they don't do anything small. They don't do anything, like halfway. When they do something, they go all in, and that's whether it's their Bear Den, whether that's working with their clients, whether that's coming together in community to be able to build a great room. So to me, it's a beautiful story, and I think I'm super excited to be able to continue to bring this conversation to life.
Awesome.
You played the role of connector, just like you do in your business, Always Be Connecting, in pulling the businesses together. To me, why is that so important for you to be able to step into that role?
Yeah. It's number one, it's my passion. It's my superpower. And I love finding out what people's whys are and connecting the dots. Mm-hmm. So that tends to always be connecting. But I always talk about power partners, and like power partners in business, but also power partners when it comes to giving back to the community. So I know it takes little energy for me to find out what people are really damn good at. And it's usually not something that everyone is good at. Everyone has a different role. So it was pretty important to me to be able to use what I'm really good at and what I love for this initiative, because it was almost like a pizza that was already half baked. Mm-hmm. and it was already ready to go, and it just took a couple more people or ingredients to complete the
Well,
how beautiful it is.
It's pretty amazing, and I think we've seen him do that
Yes.
over and over again. So this isn't new to us.
He's
What are you gonna
amazing,
say?
and I want to add one more point. He's always a one phone call away. For example, for a Vasco's community care day, no matter how busy schedule he's going through, he'll right away, if he doesn't answer the call, next minute, hey, sorry, bro, and send the call back and messages back, and and majority of the non-profits, which I didn't know that what they're doing, how they're doing. It's thanks to Raghu, he introduced me, and when I came to know, and yes, some of them brought tears in my eyes because, sorry, I'm a little bit emotional in this part, but the blessings in backpack was one of that.
Yep.
Then the bridge, so few
bridge,
of them was that it was so deeply, and I think one was from Arlington Heights, was a single mother,
That was Family Forward.
family forward, yeah, and I think they're doing amazing work. So I came to learn so many things, So thank
Yeah.
you, Raghu, for
Of
that.
course.
Yeah,
Thank
it's-
you for doing these Dine to Donates, 20% on the Tuesdays each month. So, like that, you're the one who's doing most of the work.
But I
It's
think-
easy to work with people who make it easy to give back, like you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So
Thank you so much.
so important, guys, and it's I came from corporate America before I started my entrepreneurial journey, and when I was in corporate America, I didn't understand that there's all these nonprofits within our local communities that are solving problems to be able to help uplift people in our community that need that service, right? And that is very much true. And I also see, businesses like we have today that you've connected. You have Vasco's Peri Peri, you have Love Local Media Agency, we have Bear Construction handling the construction of things, we have DJ's Auto, we have Fractional HR that is a part of this, all coming together to be able to make something happen. You do that regularly. You connect people, and you to me, you're like the point guard, to be able to kind of pass the ball, get people into the right spots, which I think is something that people need to take away from. That is, if we could look to be able to create solutions within our gifts, that we can really change the communities that we live in. This is the first time we're doing a show on Vasco's Peri Peri, but I've seen you doing that over and over. He says that same thing. We're doing this over and over again. When we connect and we collaborate, we all win.
Yeah.
Where does this passion for connecting people and solving problems and giving back to the community come from for you?
Yeah. I just love solving problems or helping people solve their own problems by asking the right questions and listening, number one.
So you were an assurance agent before you built this,
I
right?
was.
Yeah. So now you built this. Keep going. I want to give people context of just who you are.
Yeah. So, I learned through a lot, just even through life. My parents came here in the 60s from India, and I was first generation, born at Alexian Brothers. And so I grew up in the Schaumburg area. But growing up, I didn't really have any first cousins here. I had 0 first cousins in the U.S. growing up here. But I had a lot of different groups of friends. My friends were my family. And so it aligned with my personality, extrovert. And the people give me energy. We talk about people that get energy from nature or walks and recharging. Well, people are my alternator, and they're the ones that keep me going. So growing up in the Schaumburg area, it's an area that's really welcoming, and that's why it's got a
It is
reputation for it.
definitely, Yes.
We really care about each other, and then the thing about this community, we actually want to see each other win. I don't know, but I'm sure that there's other communities out there, but I really believe that in this area, people really want to see each other win.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes distractions and obstacles get in the way of that, but I think that when you remove those obstacles and you solve problems and you could do it together, you'll realize that we actually do want to see each other win.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Our community here is your heart. Go follow what's in your heart, and to me, when you do that, pure joy happens. When I see you do your thing and connect people, and we're in different communities together, there's a pure joy that comes from that. He's sharing that same thing as we get and bring this message to life for you. So I'm gonna keep going, brother. You touched a little bit on this, maybe indirectly, but why do you think it's so important and critical for our communities, especially right now, to really focus in on collaboration?
It's really important to focus on collaboration when you actually try to do the work, the same job with other people. You find out how much you have in common with them, versus, you don't know that you might have the same struggles, and you can actually solve each other's problems. You might have the same strengths. One might have a better strength than you at something, right? And you can actually sort of tutor each other and help each other rise, right? If you're really good at that, I'm really good at this. I can show you how to be really good at this, and you can show me how to really good at that, and we both win that way. And I think also connection karma is huge. I like to call it connection karma.
It should be a T-shirt.
It could be.
Put ABC on the sleeve and Connection Karma.
It could be.
Steve Long, Blink Tees, where are you at?
I need to get paid on that, though. So
trademark right here. On the Love Local Chicagoland podcast.
But I really believe in connection karma. That helps me align with what I'm trying to talk about, or what people see when you actually, what goes out will come back to you. So if you're actually putting out the right messages, or you're saying, like, we're for pets, vets, and kids.
Yes.
So many people gravitate towards it. But if you just say, hey, let's just give back to the community, you don't start with anything specific, like SMART goals, like be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, timely, those types of goals. People have those. I used to go to volunteer.com back in, like, when I used to live in Romeoville, like 15 years ago, before I moved back to the area. And I went on volunteer.com, and the only things that I saw were, like, 10 to 2, food delivery, things like that, just different organizations. But there wasn't like a community thing where you could say, hey, what can we actually do to improve? I think that's huge when you can say, when you win, I win. And when the door gets opened up for you, because you've created that opportunity, or maybe somebody else has, that you actually leave it and keep it open for somebody else. It's a vicious, beautiful cycle.
It truly is. And I hated networking before 2020 and getting involved in community with you. Hated it. And a lot of the reasons for that is because I felt that people just wanted my business card and they were just trying to sell me. What I've learned from you is that deeper connections matter, and that when we focus in on building win-wins, we could change the world. But we have to come at it from a genuine place of wanting to be able to support each other, to not being able to a place to being able to judge each other, but to come into a place of, like, here's what I do really well. This is what I do really well. Oh, we need this too? Oh, I have somebody for this. And next thing you know, we have a group of businesses in the police department that are sitting at a table at a up and coming restaurant in the Schaumburg and surrounding areas, to be able to talk about, like, when we collaborate, especially for the greater good, things change.
Yep.
It's a common goal, shared purpose, that is very important.
That is. It's like just asking any employee of any company, why are they there?
Build a good community, invest.
You want to help the community improve.
Yes, very
You want to
important.
help the company improve. But in this case, the community, you want to help it improve, and you feel like you're helping move that needle forward.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Amen, man. What's one simple step someone could take this week to start strengthening their community from your perspective?
I think ask, or basically try to find out, what does your community need? What are the needs of your community? So go to the people that might know those answers: the small business owners, the politicians, the teachers, the parents of the community, and ask them, what does their community need? Right? Start there.
Yeah.
And what opportunities are there to give back when it comes to boots on the ground, monetary, other things, in-kind donations. I know some people are like, well, we need help with website development, and we can't pay you, but sometimes they send students to help build these projects, and it gives the students obviously experience, and the company, the nonprofit, gets a new website built. Stuff like that. That's one example.
Yeah, find out what your community needs. Ask questions. I think it's so simple, and I feel like we have to do a lot more of that.
I think I'll add a point also there. That's why his company's name is Always Be Connecting. He joins the dots.
Yeah, He's a connector for sure by nature, and I think that when you do that from a genuine place, we all win. And to me, it's what I really want to make sure that our community knows that it's not about us individually.
True, very true.
But it's about us collectively coming together to do what you
It's
just
a combined
said.
effort.
Of course. Yeah. Amen. Last question, and we're going to get to talk with Dan and Ritesh. Why do you think it's so important for our police and first responders to have a quality of life room like this?
Yeah, I mean, so for the heroes of our community,
Definitely,
I think they
yes.
need to have a place they can go to make sure before they go back at it again at the next shift or just resume a shift that they have the right mindset, that they are fully recharged in whichever way they need to be recharged. Everyone is different.
Yes.
So this quality of life room is going to have different aspects of it to help people, the people that we lean on the most in our community, our biggest heroes, to have that place to go that's a constant that will take care of and at least help them get to where they need to be in order to do the best job they can for us.
Agreed.
And so I think that's the least we can do. That's what the purpose of this and the why of this project is all about.
Yeah, man. Well said. And it's to me, I think as humans, we all need inner peace.
Agreed.
We all
Definitely.
we all need a time to be able to disconnect. All of us, business owners, nonprofit leaders, but especially our police and first responders. They deal with things that me and you or you, we have no clue what that feels like. But
Definitely.
here's what I know. I know at the end of a stressful day, I'm kind of a hot mess, and I need to go into my office area. I need to reset. I turn on my my music to kind of reset myself, and then I go out there and I take care of my family. I don't have any of the stresses that they have on a day-to-day basis, especially certain days. So to be able to bring people together like you've done, to be able to solve the problem, to make sure that they have this room and that they have this chair, to me is what this is all about. And let's keep going. I appreciate you doing this. Keep being you, man. And let's rock and roll. We're going to bring on Dan and Ritesh next, if that's cool.
Of course.
Let's
Thank
do
you
it.
so much, Raghu.
Thank
Really
you, guys.
appreciate it. Man.
Thank you for everything.
We appreciate
it.
You know.
For
Of
sure.
course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep going, man.
Absolutely.
All right, Samir. So obviously, it's a great story with Raghu and just really how this all came into life. We get to talk to Dan, which is a huge giver with DJ's Auto here, and talk to him, but also Ritesh, which is a huge part of this in the beginning. I literally saw him and Raghu just go and
That's
find
true.
solutions to be able to put this together, and then it kind of just, as they both went, it kind of just merged. And to me, it goes like, that's beautiful. That's what more of us need to be able to look at, how we could create solutions and not just how there's problems in our world, but how can we find ways to be able to solve them. So I'm really looking forward to being able to talk to them and get their message out as well. They're a huge part of why this room is able to be put together as well, which is huge. So I'm going to kind of go to each of you. Ritesh, I'm going to come to you first, and then Dan, just kind of bounce off of these. You've both been rooted in Schaumburg for many years as business owners and as community members. When you first heard about this project, what made you want to step in and support it?
Yeah, honestly, man, it's what you just said. Go. Right? When you've been living in a town for 35 plus years, and I think Dan can speak to this as well, because we're kind of linear here, around the same. All you've seen is community service through the Schaumburg Police Department.
Awesome.
And our job here is not to question, not to second guess. If they're in need, we go. So that was truly the motivation.
I've seen and felt that being friends in part of the giving group, which you help lead, and Dan's a part of as well, I've seen that mindset over and over again.
Yeah.
And what I could tell people is go. Like, solutions happen when you go.
Yeah.
Like, but if you don't go, if you just keep it as an idea, you don't do anything. You can't create change. You can't make a better tomorrow. So, like, go.
Go.
Oh,
Yeah,
appreciate that input. Dan, how about you?
Well, I mean, you bring up the giving group, and how did the giving group even evolve? It's because we had really a mindset, we had opportunity, we had actually people reach out to us and say, hey, what do you think of this? And you know what, as a giving group and the individuals that are a part of this, work with that idea, and the idea becomes created, so we can figure out a way. And it's never a one-time thing, but Giving Group's been around for a few years. That we've tried something once, we've tweaked it, done some other things, and we've been able to take something and grow and truly help so many more people.
Absolutely. What I love about this story is like the idea was there in a Giving Group boardroom, but we're like, we support pets, vets, and kids.
Yep.
And yes, there is vets that are police officers as well. Yep. But through discussion, through collaboration in our boardroom, right, this isn't the project for us. And for us as a Giving Group. But it doesn't mean we're not going to make a solution. And through that, which what I talked before, people win. and now we're sitting here at a table in Vasco's Perry bringing this story to life, because it's so important to be able to take care of the mental health of the people who serve us on a daily basis in our community. When you first heard about this project, what made you step in and want to be able to support it?
You know, I was truly thankful that they even really asked. I mean, what kind of opportunity is it really that you're in a setting with a giving group, and then also we have, again, this opportunity that they came to us and said, would you guys be interested or know of people to collaborate with that could truly help us with this whole project? And the fact that everyone that were involved and heard about it stepped up is the reason why we have this great collaboration of people, because truly at the end of the day, we work hard, we want to try and achieve certain things, and then we are blessed enough to give back. And this is truly, I feel, right here with the Schaumburg Police Department. It's a phenomenal project, and I think it's a great idea, and I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree, man. And I think when we come together, we could do really beautiful things. Why do you think it's so important for us as community members to stand behind our police officers and first responders, especially when it comes to their mental health and well-being?
I can't speak as a police officer, and I know if I wanted to be one, I truly, it's a passion for them, because it's not their job, it's really who they are, and protecting, and it's a whole different process, and I deeply respect that. And if I have any way to give back to help them, where they can stay sharp, where they can find downtime or times where they can just relax and reboot, this is a great opportunity for them.
Thank you, Dan, for that, and we totally agree. Ritesh, same for you. Why do you think it's important for us to come together?
Honestly, man, for the Schaumburg Police Department, when you think about what the police department does and what our first responders are, they're the first ones there in the moment of crisis. They're the first ones there thinking about others rather than themselves. So when this opportunity was presented to us to give back to them, it was an absolute no-brainer, because it's our responsibility as human beings to humanize them, and basically say, hey, not only are you police department, our police officers and first responders, but you're a parent, you're a spouse, you're a son, you're a daughter, right? So if we as a community can come together and understand that, I think it creates a cycle of care between all of us, right? So I'm Lieutenant Elliot and Commander Lindhurst. They're not Lieutenant and Commander, they're Elliot and Christy, right?
Yeah, it's some of the most down-to-earth people.
100%.
It got to, and I'll be honest with you, going in the conversation, I don't know if I would have anticipated that. But getting to know both of them throughout this process gave me so much hope, gave me so much more admiration for the people that serve us in our community to keep us safe. Me and you talk a lot about peace and inner peace 100%. And making sure we're taking care of the body, mind, and spirit. Yep. And for them, I talked about it with Raghu too when he was on here. Like, it's so important to give them a space where they could reset, where they could come back to kind of square, and so that they could go again, because we need them to keep going.
Yep, we need them to keep going. And if we're able to bring that for ourselves within our own sanctuaries in our house, why shouldn't they? Right? Whether it's at home or whether it's in a place of business. We all look for that. We all have spots with our own business, whether it's our office, a conference room, we can go and disconnect. So they should too.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. What's your thoughts on this, Samir? I know you're a man that comes from a place of wanting to be able to have inner peace as well. As you hear both of these business owners talk, what's your thoughts about like what the importance of making sure that the police have this room?
The way Ritesh said also earlier that whenever we think about not a policeman but officers only, but a father, a brother, a mother, a sister, a child,
Absolutely.
I mean, they're a family man, and when they're at the duty also, they don't have a consistent graph, like how we have as a businessman, that we know we have this graph, but they don't know what scenes they are going to expect, so they definitely need something sort of peace at work, which can be, when they go back at work, or when they start the work, or in between the break, they have something relaxation, so it's very important.
He talked on it. I totally agree. They're humans too.
Of
Part of
course,
the
definitely.
human design is for us to be able to reset, and when we have to ride these waves of life, when they're high, we come back to kind of ground ourselves.
Yes, true.
That is so important, especially if you're in the line of work that they're in, where the stress most of us civilians do not know or understand. So to be able to come back to it, be grounded, and to be able to reset and to be able to go again is so important. And me and you talked a little bit about it again. It's kind of a foundational piece of our community.
Yes.
Collaboration, to me, is what is just firing me up about this, along with helping and supporting with the room and the chair for the police department. And it's the collaboration. And it's the collaboration that I see in this community that is just keeps going.
Yep.
For me, I think collaboration could change lives if we look at it from a way of wanting to help each other win. It's obviously been a big part of this project. From your perspective, Ritesh, why is collaboration among businesses, nonprofits, and neighbors so vital right now?
To be honest, everything starts at home, right? I think we talked about this a little bit yesterday. And home, to me, is within myself. If I can figure out how to collaborate with me, then I come from a perspective of trying to get others on board to collaborate. So I work within myself, and then to be able to collaborate with Jason, then be able to collaborate with a small business, with a community, with a non-profit, because then you're coming from the right mindset. So collaboration starts with you, and if we can then overflow our cups and include everybody else, the small becomes the big.
And it's so well said, man. And collaboration starts within, but collaboration isn't about us.
Correct.
It is about us collectively coming together to
Yep.
be able to make it happen. But if we're not right at home,
That's
if
exactly
I'm not
it.
in the right lane because I'm not following what I feel is in my heart I'm supposed to be doing on this earth, we're not going to get to where we need to be able to go. We're not going to be able to build those win-wins. But
Absolutely.
when we start within, to me, it's the foundation.
Absolutely. And the foundation then grows to the community, right? And then I think we talked about it yesterday. We said it goes from a single person to a family, to a street, to your local town, to your local county, to your local your state, your country, and then the globe. So that's why it's important to start from within and then bring everybody else along with the journey, right? It's purposeful. It's all filled with purpose.
Amen. Amen, man. Dan, from your perspective, why is collaboration among businesses, nonprofits, and neighbors so vital right now?
Stronger together.
Yes, sir.
I heard that somewhere.
Man, I don't know everything. You don't know everything. But when we start working together and we're able to explore and learn from everybody else,
Yeah.
it gets you to the point of that destination where you're trying to get, because now you have a larger foundation. You have a much bigger amount of audience that can truly get you there. Either people that have done it before, or if it's a mindset of what I want to do, and then working together at the end of the day with what you already are working with. And it could be any kind of project. If you just maybe want to help a elementary school for food program, for the summer program, or you find out from other organizations what they truly need, you become a really good listener, and then you become that connector, and then this is what makes it happen.
Dan, that reminds me of a quote. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far and deep, you go together.
Go together.
And that's what
African
collaboration
That's
proverb,
awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome.
And I think that's a big part of what this is, right? It's us collectively coming together. We see this throughout the community. This isn't about us. It's about us being a part of something that's bigger than us.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But it's about rolling up your sleeves. Just like you said, like, what can you do, neighbors? Like, what can you do to, like, leave this place better than you found it? Are you just in your algorithm stuck in this and that? Are you
See,
whatever
that's what
that
makes it
is?
so great. Like the people that are new coming in, they're able to see what you can achieve once you get around a mindset of people, and then the opportunities that you reach out to other organizations or like the police department or anywhere that they have a need, and then you put it together and say, well, how can we, and what way can we, and who do we reach out to make it happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, amen, man. And when we roll up our sleeves and we collectively come together for the greater good of something,
Yep.
our world will change. Off of your point, the ripple effect that will happen from those things will change the scope of things, one community at a time. But it's going to take all of us rolling up our sleeves, finding what's in our heart that we're passionate about, and going. If you could inspire other local businesses, owners, Dan, you've been in business for over 30 years, or community members, what's one piece of advice you would give about stepping up and making a difference in their own front and backyard?
Relationships. Like if you own a business, like it doesn't matter where you're at. If you're really looking for business, or if you're just looking to collaborate and find out what's in around, what kind of businesses are around, or friends. My best friends are in this circle, and collaborating with other businesses have a same mindset either way. They're hard workers. They understand relationships, and so the fact that other businesses can see what our chamber's about, they get blown away from our own chamber. So the people that come out are just amazing, and you can learn so much from them.
Just get out, right? Like, just start
Get out.
something, right? And
Yep.
start meeting people and come from a place of wanting to be able, from a level of service. If you do that, there's no way you don't win. What's your thoughts on
Yeah.
that?
I love the question, and it goes back to the first question. Just go. Right? Go. Don't overthink it. Right? One small act of kindness can make such a massive impact.
True.
Right? A bigger impact. Think about this. Vasco's Peri Peri opened up, and Samir and the team opened up a small thought. You just said it when we walked in.
Yes.
This small thought then brought Love Local Media, DJ's Auto, Fraction HR,
Bad
ABC,
construction.
Bear Construction, the police department. You see that?
It became like huge. It
Absolutely.
was a small seed.
So a 2-letter word. Go.
We came here for the food, though.
Chicken and rice. Chicken and rice, guys.
Let's
Chicken
go.
and rice.
Right.
I'm gonna say it was really good.
Gentlemen, as we close out this segment, you both inspire me, and the communities that we're a part of together give me so much hope for the future. So I'm grateful for both of you, and Samir, I'm sure you feel the same way about these two men.
I do, man.
Yeah.
I do. You know, so these are the amazing people. Ritesh Bhai, I know him very well, and
Yeah.
he's been always amazing. And I think they started because I called him. I said, "Hey, I'm
Yes,
thinking
sir.
something good. You know, what's your thoughts on this?" And that's where it started. And again, they told us the whole story, how
Yeah.
it took place. You know, so thank God it is
Yeah.
working out good.
I'm excited to keep going with you
Let's
all.
do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm going
Let's
to put
do it.
that call to action in the community is go,
That's
go,
it.
go, go, go. Whatever that is for you,
Yeah.
just go. But thank you both very
Yeah,
much.
I appreciate you, Jason. Thank you, Samir.
Thank you
for
too,
the
Jason.
opportunity.
Appreciate what
Thanks,
you're
Dan.
doing too. Thank you, Ritesh.
Cool. All right, Samir. So we got Bear Construction in the house.
Yeah,
They don't do anything small.
yeah. I heard about the
Yes, we
donation
do.
also. Big one.
Yeah.
Over the years.
The Bear Den is like the place to be in the off 53 corridor, and I'm just going to say in the Chicagoland area. The people that have been to the Bear Den know that they know how to make a room, and they know how to make it stand out and pop, and to be able to create a place to be able to serve whatever that need is, whether it's community or whether it's for the police to be able to help them build a room that's going to fit their wellness initiatives that they're trying to go. So I'm super excited to get into this segment with you.
Believe me, I am too. In fact, while I was speaking to, the gentleman right front of us and he shared a few stories about the donation and all that stuff, I thought he told me about when he started the year I was born. So
Okay,
that
we
is
feel
something
old
that's
now.
more
Come on.
motivational for me that okay, someone was started those years back, so I need to keep the path on, and I need to be on the same track and keep doing that, and we need to teach our kids also in the same way.
Amen, man. It's super blessed. We got Alicia here from Bear
Thank you,
Construction
Alicia.
today.
Thank you for having me.
And then we also have Jim here as well, which is one of the founding brothers. Is that fair to say?
That is correct. Three of
Yeah.
us started the company, myself, George, and Nick.
Yeah, it's good. You said before we got the cameras rolling that you were the most best looking out of this. So get that on
Oh,
camera,
boy,
make sure
yeah.
we're recording.
I
I
never
hope
said
they
that. I
watch
never
it.
said that. I never said
He definitely didn't say
We want
that.
to publish this more.
I'm just, pun intended, I'm just poking the bear a little. You all have big hearts. You do a lot of great things in the community. Mental health is something that's super, super important and to you and your organization. I'm going to start with you, Jim. This wellness room is such a powerful idea. From your perspective, how did you see this vision for this space kind of come about?
Well, actually, they originally started from a conversation that Alicia had, I believe, with
Raghu.
with
Raghu,
Raghu,
yeah.
right? And then we found out about it. We were having we were hosting a thing for Trades Connect at our Bear Den, and while they were there, Elliot came and spoke from Schaumburg Police Department, and they started talking about the room, and Alicia was kind of already aware of it somewhat. I had not known much about it yet, and as soon as I heard about it, we were like, "Wow, we'd love to get involved in this," and we like to get back to the community, and especially ones that we are surrounding closest to us, and all the Chicagoland area.
We're talking with Alicia in this prep. It seemed like a no-brainer for you guys. It was more like we're in, and I think that's a beautiful place to be. To use your gifts and your connections to be able to put something like this together. It goes that we truly are stronger together.
Yep.
From your perspective, kind of tell us a little bit of that story. How did this come into play?
Well, when Raghu asks you for something, you don't say no because it's going to be with heart and soul, and it's always going to be with great intentions. When Raghu first asked me, it was about making a donation to the room, which, again, no-brainer for Bear. Initially, it was about funding the big commercial massage chair. So, of course, we were in, and it just was such a great experience at Trades Connect when Elliot spoke, because it was that time that was that aha moment that it's more than just the chair.
Yes.
It's a safe, peaceful space. We got to learn a lot from Elliot about the room, what their vision was, and it's sort of this match made in heaven, right? We have the means, the resources, and we want to continue to do these sorts of things in our community. So when we spoke to Elliot and he explained about the room, one of our other folks were there as well, Adam, and Adam immediately spoke up and said, I can project manage this. George and Jim were also in the room and said, Bear can do this. We can project manage this. We can get our vendors and partners around this, to paint, to do electrical. We've got a pretty big network after 41 years. So it truly was a match made in heaven. It seemed like the perfect fit for us.
Yeah,
That's so good to hear, right?
it's inspiring when you hear
It's
people
very
like I'm in,
inspiring.
and we want to make sure that the wellness of our first responders and the people who service in the police department are taken care of. And we're going to use our gifts. She said, use our connections to be able to help solve this problem. It goes back into we're stronger together. It goes back into when we work collaboratively, anything could happen, and we could go fast, and we can make things happen.
Agreed.
For Schaumburg Police and other first responders, why is a dedicated wellness space so important for you right now? And I'll ask you first, Alicia.
I think, and I'll speak on behalf of Personal and then also Bear. So Bear has had a medical portfolio for nearly 30 years. And so wellness is incredibly important to us. We've also invested millions of dollars really giving back to behavioral health, mental illness, things around the health portfolio. So it aligns with our mission and our continued mission as being a business owner. And then personally, I think when you I think when you step back and you say, I don't think there's anybody that we know that hasn't been touched with mental illness, whether it's you, your family, your child, a teacher, a friend. I don't think anyone has been unscathed from that, unfortunately. And so it is a passion. It's a passion in my heart. And if you can make just one person's life better, even for a moment, then it's served you well.
Yeah, amen. I think I'm hopeful and have seen in recent years that this stigma around mental health is kind of getting unleashed. I think past generations, we didn't talk about it as much, but when you see the police talking about it, when you see like construction people talking about it, you should know it's important because it's something that helps us ground ourselves. It's something that to me is the foundation of life. If our minds aren't right, then our bodies aren't right. There's going to be a connection. Therefore, we can't be our best selves with where we're going. Jim, for you, when you think about the impact of this room, what do you hope officers and first responders will feel when they step inside?
Well, obviously, hope they feel a sense of calmness, a place where they can go decompress and get their mind right, to go back, whether in the middle of a shift or whenever it might be, or at the end of a shift, can go get their mind right. They deal with some situations that we probably can't even imagine, you know, and whether it be domestically or, you know, just people in the communities or things that are very graphic that they deal with sometimes. And I think police and, as you mentioned before, construction workers, you know, we're also, and firemen alike, they're all supposed to be the tough guys, you know, that tough guys and men and women that normally, you know, don't go and talk about their, you know,
Their feelings,
about their
right?
feelings
Yeah.
and their mental health. So as you mentioned before about the veil being pulled back on mental health, that's without a doubt. It is getting more and more talked about. You know, it's a very difficult thing in the fact that that person looks fine. It's nothing that, you know, you're going with a broken arm. It's something you can't see. I can look at you and you might have all sorts of problems going on, but yet you look perfectly healthy. So it's something that's not often talked about, and especially for some of the first responders and such, especially.
Yeah, we could see somebody when they're on crutches. We could see somebody when they have their sling there, but
Right.
we don't always see when somebody's struggling with their mental health. And I still have a lot to learn, but what I've learned about life is there is a lot of waves that come along with this, and there's a lot of things that could happen where if you don't have good best practices to be able to ground yourself and to get right, or maybe something that's so much more than that maybe you need more, if you're not willing to talk about it, if we're not willing to step into that arena and be vulnerable, you're not going to get the fullness of life that this life could offer. And I think it's a big reason why I'm so passionate about this collaboration, because I think it really shows that we have come a really long ways. That now these big, tough, burly men that are in construction
And women.
that are in construction. Well, they're not tough and burly. I mean, let's repeat that.
Don't skip the burly
Yeah,
part.
the burly part, but definitely tough. We all could talk about that, about mental health, and we could put that at the forefront of what we do. So, because at the end of the day, if your team's not right with their minds and they're struggling with their mental health, they're probably not going to be as good for you.
And that's also how accidents happen, or maybe they use the right judgment in something because they were just off. They're not their normal self.
Yeah, amen to that. Anything that you want to add with this? Like, what do you want people to feel out of this room as it continues to get built?
So to begin with, I want to start with again a bad construction, because it was very inspiring for me. So a lot of people, motivation can be something, it can inject you for a few weeks, few months, a few years, and then you stop it, But like since '84, they've been doing this. It's incredible, and keep doing this. And we want a company like you to be around, surrounded, because community do need companies like that who involves and participate with the companies. And for me also, being a new startup in States now, and local community, for me, it's you guys are an inspiration that yes, I need to go on and my kids needs to take on the legacy as well. And about when it comes to the mental health, no second thought, that whether it's a construction company or police department, firefighters or even restaurants, but definitely the police and the first responders, they have a tremendous pressure, they have a shifts, so that's to balance between that shifts also, it's not something very easy. So I think it's something coming together, like businesses, non-profits, community members, like you also coming out and helping with the code. This is something incredible things we are doing, so I think it's not a one person's job, it's together we can build something very beautiful.
That's
agree.
it. Yeah. Together we could build something beautiful. If we
Definitely.
all come together to be able to support each other with what we're really good
Well,
at,
I think
fires
the
us up.
saying goes, it takes a village.
Amen.
And that's
Yeah.
obviously that's meant to mean it takes a collaboration of people to come together to get things accomplished.
Yeah.
So
Amen.
But I will say this community has come together on lots of occasions, and I think it is just the power of network.
Oh, yes,
And if you
definitely,
ever
I agree.
underestimate, going to a networking event, you shouldn't, because it's what we're doing right now today. It's, hey, I know an electrician, we know a painter, and really when you tap people on the shoulder and you ask, would you like to participate and be a part of something like this? I don't know anyone that would say no. I don't want to. They just need the opportunities. And I think we have the will to be able to bring those things forward and continue to do really goodwill throughout the
I
community.
agree. I completely agree.
Networking and connecting with people
Yes.
and truly wanting to help each other win.
Yes.
It could change our local communities. And I see it firsthand. It's happening all around us. It's to your kind of point. This is just one thing that is collaborative, that is that we're putting on the air to be able to showcase. But this has been happening.
Right.
There's a lot of collaboration from the networks that people are in locally.
Right.
And that are changing the script for many. You just don't always hear about them.
Right.
And I think it's a big part of why we're building a Love Local Media Agency, and we made the channel Love Local Chicagoland, is because we think these stories matter. And that if we could get these stories out collectively and show the collaborations, and we could look to seek to build win-wins, we could make for a brighter tomorrow. But it's going to take all of us. It's going to take us that network. It's going to be, I don't have this guy, but hey, do you have this guy or this girl to be able to solve this issue for us? Because the end in mind and what we want to solve is really important. But unless we come together and network, we're not going to get to where we want to go. So really well said, Alicia. I want to ask this question to you both, and I want to hear each of your perceptions. What does it mean for you personally to see local businesses and law enforcement come together to make something like this happen?
So they're the group that we count on every day, right? They're the group that provides safety, they provide security, and just reassurance that I can go about my everyday life.
that we take for granted often.
That we take for granted,
Right.
right? Without worry. And so to have the opportunity to do something for them doesn't always come around. And maybe it's our small way of saying thank you. You matter. I notice you. And I may not always say it, but this is a small opportunity to be able to give back in the ways that we can.
Yeah. Amen.
Agreed.
And I would hope that you had asked before, what this room means. One of the things I hope it means to the police that will be using it is there's community support that made this possible, and hopefully when they go in there, they feel that sense of community support as well.
Yeah. I think it gives them hope, right? It gives them like
Yes.
that you have their back. And, in our world today and the algorithms that are at May, that story's not always being told. But that's the story we're seeing. That's what the collaborations that are coming together. And our next segment is going to be with Officer Lindhurst and Rose, and to be able to hear their stories and their perspectives about this is going to be, to me, it's so enlightening and should be hopeful for the people that are listening. Again, I'm going to ask you both in this rate, how do you see this project reflecting the strength of the community when we collaborate? It might be some overlap here, but yeah.
I think it's an opportunity to set a different precedent. It's an opportunity to say you can be involved. For those who might be sitting at home on their couch saying, how can I make my community better? How can I give back? It's not always in money. It could be services. donations. It
Yes.
could be volunteering. So you want this to continue to trickle down so that people, one, feel good about what they're doing, and two, that getting involved matters. And there's lots of opportunities to do that, and this is just one example to bring that to the forefront.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
right, and it's Ritesh said it last time that we talked a little bit about it in the last segment. It's like, go, roll up your sleeves. It doesn't. If you don't have money, that's okay. But do you have a little bit of time?
Right.
Can you help with whatever that is that you have in your heart to go out and help? It doesn't have to be perfect. You could chisel into it. Once you're out there, you know what's going to happen? You're going to actually learn more. So don't go too far into it. Just go start be a part of that solution, right? Anything you want to add to that, Jim?
Well, I think just the fact that, I mean, obviously, police support, the first thing I support is the community and the citizens that live within the community. And by supporting them, you know, I think it all comes around and it's full circle type thing where, you know, they obviously support us every day and make it safe for us to do whatever we like to do in our everyday lives. And the same token, like it's nice to be able to support them and give back. You know, they get some good out of the room as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Fantastic.
Amen. What are you thinking right now?
So I would say one thing what I experienced from this beautiful collaboration, you know, that it will not just be a room only, but it's gonna leave a beautiful impact to the community and other people who are watching us and who's going to watch us also. That, you know, when you come together, I think we leave a great impact, and by doing this we can do a lot of collaboration and do something better in the community.
Agreed.
And we can come up with a small projects on a small level where community members, non-profits and small businesses can come together and fix a lot of dots and points and make this community beautiful, you know.
I think it also incentivizes companies that they can also, you know, build a room or a safe space for people that find peace and calm. We all have lots of everyday stressors, whether it's family or work or whatever's going on personally, and this can also help to inspire even corporations to, you know, independently do these things at the same time giving back to others.
Yeah. When we collectively come together, there's nothing that we can't do, especially when we come with open hearts and open minds. And I think it's really important to share those stories because in the hopes of people roll up their sleeves and go. What else do you want people to know about bear construction through this? What is there anything else that you want to share with our audience?
Not particular in terms about bear construction. I mean, you know, we've been around for 41 years and do work throughout the entire Chicagoland area, of course, mainly, and then in multiple other states as well. But you know, this is about being able to give back, and so since 84, 85, we've given back significant amounts of both time and also, you know, donations and such to all sorts of different charities. We've been supporting mental health for at least 30 years. We've been supporting mental health, whether it's through golf outings and different things. But you know, it's I do think we have to all come together, especially this day where people hopefully will have tolerance of each other. And you know what? My views may not be the same as yours, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we all have to accept other people's views and opinions and treat each other with the respect that we want to be treated with ourselves.
Yeah,
So,
man. Drop the mic, not that one.
Yeah.
Drop the mic. That's really profound. And to me, you know, what inspires me to build Love Local Media Agency and have this platform with Love Local Chicagoland is I see business owners like you, I see business owners like Dan that have been doing this for, you know, 20, 30, 40 years. And there's a common theme about giving back. And I also am really fortunate to have a lot of great relationships with local nonprofits in the area. And what I have learned is that if us as business owners, and you're doing the same thing, as you show up in the community, you're coming back with the give back mindset. When us as businesses focus in on making sure that we're giving back and the things that we're passionate about, and we do it locally, game on. And a lot of the problems that we have in our world can be fixed one town at a time. But it's going to take all of us rolling up our sleeves and all of us going to be able to put in that work, but to come together with differences of opinion. My dad used to say, like, we're all thinking the same. None of us are really thinking. And I kind of take that with me where I go, because it's really true. Good ideas could come from anywhere, but unless we come to the table, unless we are looking to create those win-wins, we're not going to get to where we need to go. So
Right.
hearing that from you is like fires me up, obviously, because it's really hard to be able to build a business, but to be able to build a business in the way that you all have done it with Bear for this long is just darn right impressive, and it inspires us people that are
Definitely.
just starting out to just keep going and keep building, but to keep the community in mind, to keep giving back in mind,
Right.
because if we do that, there's no way we don't win. So I really appreciate you both being here today.
It's an honor.
definitely.
It's
Thank
an
you,
honor.
Alicia.
And that, I did fail to mention, within our company, we have a group, we have a 501c3 not-for-profit within our company called Bear Cares.
Beautiful.
And the Bear Foundation. And it allows us to do volunteerism with our employees and also to help on whether it be financial donations as well with various charities, often which are our mental health, actually. So
I think that's something for the small business owners that are out there, the business owners that are out there, we all should have a foundation.
Yeah.
And we should all look at how can we be able to do this, and to be able to help the people that are giving back, and we could run this through. It's good tax breaks as well for that type of stuff. I'm not an accountant, but I'm going to tell you, to have a foundation, to have a 501c inside of your business is something that is from what I've learned, is just really smart way to do business, and it allows you to do philanthropy at a really high level.
Yep.
Where everybody wins.
It's also
True, you know,
foundational
agreed.
too on what your mission is,
Totally.
and what your values are, and so
Right.
it makes a
I
very
agree with that,
broad
you know.
statement. It doesn't have to be millions of dollars, but it's a start.
Yes,
And as you grow
I
and get
agree.
bigger, obviously that can as
Yeah.
well.
Intention matters, you know. So even if it is small drop or penny, but as you start, when I started in probably 2021, so when I started, I used to give the gift certificates. When the small NGOs and non-profits used to reach out to me, and that's how I started over here. So I have a history back in South Africa, so I'm a South African entrepreneur, and that's where we're running from the years, So yes, it's a different level of poverty back in Africa. So we will not go in that detail, but yes, whatever we could do. So we've been active from last 19, 20 years, and it's amazing. And I'm very glad that I got the opportunity over here. So when I started very small, and day by day, God is blessing me, and whatever I could do, the pinch and cents, and it becomes the pennies becoming a bigger box,
Right.
So that's how it goes. So yes, we need to motivate everyone, small businesses, who can reach the bad constructions level also, and far bigger than that. And you guys also, I wish you all the success and best also, that you grow bigger.
Thank you.
With all the ways, So
Right.
God bless.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for
you,
being a
Alicia
part of
Alicia
that.
and Jim. Thank you.
Thanks, Jason.
They should be in a collaboration. Let's keep going, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Get together
Alicia.
with you.
All right, Samir, we're here at the grand finale.
Yes, sir.
We have some pretty smart, giving, loving police officers that are here with us today. We have Commander Lindhurst with us, and also Lieutenant Rose here from the Schaumburg Police Department to talk about why this quality of life room is so important. You ready for this part of the conversation?
Oh, definitely, yes. I'm very excited about it. I'm very grateful that they're over here, So
Yeah,
it's an amazing feeling.
To me, hearing their perspective and hearing their hearts come out in the prep for this just gave me so much gratitude, but
Indeed.
also gave me so much hope. And I think when we focus in on taking care of those that serve us on a daily basis and making sure that they have the things that they need, I think that our communities could become a stronger place. As police officers, me and you don't know the stresses that they deal with, and to be able to support them and to hear it from their side of it is so important. So let's start talking to them.
Sure,
That's it.
let's start.
All right,
Let's go for
it. Welcome to the show, Commander Lindhurst. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's our honor, and thank you, Lieutenant Rose. So it means a lot for you to be here, and the conversations I think we both have had in the preparation to this is like it kind of fires us up. You're hearing a lot of like, we're excited as community members to collaborate, to be able to help build win-wins, and to be able to do that with the Schaumburg Police Department, to be able to help you all win and to continue to do your jobs better. really fires us up. And we hope that the story that you're going to bring to life here fires up the community too. It's really important. With that being said, we're talking about a wellness space, a quality of life room. I'm going to go to you, Lieutenant Rose. Why is creating a wellness room so important for police and first responders today?
It's important to understand that law enforcement don't just get to check out. They don't just get to go off duty and come off tour. They are constantly being exposed to stressors and trauma and situations of which the average individual will never experience within their lives. On a weekly basis, law enforcement officers may encounter violent situations. And over time, that trauma and stressors, they accumulate. And the problem is, if you're not dealing with such accumulation of stress, it's causing mental health issues. It's causing substance abuse issues. It's causing people's lives to be impacted simply because they're serving our community. The purpose of a wellness room is really providing a space where the first responder can decompress, where they can take a step back and begin to process what they experienced and learn how to positively move forward with assistance.
Yeah, well said. Anything you want to add to that, Commander?
I think this wellness room that we are going to try to build really.
Well, Bear Construction's on
provides
it.
us-
There's no
Yes.
trying. This thing's happening.
This is
Go
done.
big
This
or
is
go home.
done.
Right. You're right. Well said. Well said. Yeah, that gives us an opportunity to support us with what Elliot's explaining. That it provides the best way for us to ensure the consistency in service in our community, because we have built resilient officers that have the tools behind the scenes to come and serve the community every day at the highest level.
Yeah, I love hearing that come out of your mouth, and that I think we talked a little bit about Bear Construction and mental health. I feel like as a society, we're getting so much better. We're breaking down that stigma that's once there, and that we understand that it's really important for us to take care of our body for sure, but it's really important for us to be able to take care of our minds, especially when we have really stressful jobs like you all have, and for us to be able to come together in community, I think is important, and for them to understand that story of like, well, if people that are in construction that we're doing, and people and focusing on mental health, and our police officers focusing on their mental health, like, well, maybe we need to focus on our mental health too. And I think through that type of awareness that we could shape our communities in a positive way. Start with you with this next question. Commander, what do you wish community members understood about the human side of wearing the badge?
I think the human side is that we're all human. We are mothers, fathers, we are sisters, brothers, parents. We take care of grandparents. There's many roles and many hats that officers wear. They're exactly the same as everyone else in the community. So I think it's important that our community see that human side, see with it, you know what, we are just like you. And at home, we might have the exact same problems that today I'm helping you with. I might have the similar problem at my house. So that relationship back and forth makes us more a part of the community. And that's what we want to do, is ensure that we are a part of the community. We are not just here on a separate, only in a crisis. We're here all the time. And so we need to be behind our officers to support them all of the time in every area.
Yeah, thank you for that.
That's it.
Lieutenant Rose, anything you want to add to that?
You know, you hear the phrase, humanize the badge. But what does that really mean? And like Commander Lindhurst was saying, you're not just a cop, you're not just a firefighter, you're not just a paramedic. You're ultimately a person. And you have the same problems and issues that all of us experience in life, both on and off duty. Mm-hmm. People don't realize that law enforcement, when they go home, they're going home to their kid coming to welcome them back from work. But they're also dealing with a spouse unsure if they're going to be safely coming home. They're dealing with different trainings and experiences that put them more on notice or on guard than the general public. And like Commander Lindhurst also said, the community is the heart of what we do. I mean, we do what we do to help others. And law enforcement in today's day and age isn't just about being on duty. It's about providing in times of good and in times of bad, because at the end of the day, these are the same streets we live on. These are the same streets our kids play on. These are the same schools that we frequent. This is our community.
And it's why it's so important that we collectively come together to make sure that this is at the forefront, because we all are humans. We have different roles, all of us throughout this journey in here locally in our community. But the selflessness that comes from the police and also from first responders is to me is something like, if we didn't have that, if we didn't have people that are willing to risk their lives, really to go into really tough situations that could emotionally change them if not taken care of, like, what are we doing as community members? So to really come at it like we're all in this together. Just like you said, we all live in these neighborhoods. We all live in this community in one way or another. So to be able to understand it, I don't care if you're a restaurant owner, or if you're a media guy, or if you're police, mental health is important. But if you're a police or if you're a first responder and you're dealing with other people's traumatic issues that are now coming into you, for you to be able to be grounded and to have a spot where you could reset, where you could work through whatever you are doing, because each of us as humans are uniquely and designed different, but to have that space to reset is so important. Commander Lindhurst, how, in your opinion, how will this space actually help officers decompress and stay resilient with body, mind, and spirit?
This space creates not only a place after a crisis for an officer to reset or to decompress or process a very traumatic incident that they may have gone on, but the space also will be used in preparation of shift. There's studies done about officers coming to work and having the correct mindset before they get there. So sometimes having a space that the officer can go to with the correct resources to prepare them for their day, that might be the most beneficial for that officer. Or the same thing, the transition into home life. How can we have our officers come here, give it their all, and still be able to go home and transition well into a healthy home life? This space will provide them that also, because there will be a variety of resources, whether that means it's a meditation space, whether that means we're going to provide additional services in that space, such as physical therapy, maybe chiropractic treatment, a wide variety of things, and also a place for a physical decompression of different types of sports therapies that to help physically and also mentally come down, decompress, to transition properly from home to work and maybe after work, how to do that, as well as after a critical incident. It's imperative. And what might be a critical incident might not be a 20 officer response. A critical incident could be something that touches that officer because they've had something similar at home.
Yes.
Or maybe they just had a loved one that was in a car accident and now they just had to respond to a horrific car accident. Maybe that decompression is needed for them to reset, to be their best, to be 100% when we send them back out into the community or send them home.
Yeah, it's so important. In my faith, there's a Sabbath, right? And that Sabbath is very much comes from a place of like working from a place of rest. And to me, the core pieces of that beginning part are stillness and self-care.
Right.
I think that's a part of the human experience. That's what I'm hearing you say now is you're taking care of yourself. You're taking care of your body. You're taking care of your mind. So that your spirit could feel good. And that starts before a shift and resetting and getting yourself clear, but it's also, it happens afterwards, or I'm guessing probably sometimes in between if it's a tough day.
Right. We want to provide that space so that it's there no matter what time of the day, what works for that. It's not going to be the same for every officer. It's going to be different of what their needs are. So this space provides a wide variety for whatever the needs are for a variety of officers. And I think that is super important that we're recognizing. Not everybody needs a cookie cutter, okay, you can do yoga and then you're relaxed and then you go home. That's not the way that taking care of yourself and building resilient officers. We have to have a variety of things and that work for them to decompress. And that is what will create that really responsiveness to build officers that are here for the long term. I mean, these officers are in our community right now, and we want them to be here for a full 20 or plus career. And so to do that, we have to give them skills to cope the best for the long term. And so
Right.
that's what this room really helps us do. It gives them different coping skills that are the healthiest possible
Right.
way to recover and deal with the pressures of this job.
Anything you want to add to that?
You know, Jason, we've done this wrong in police and fire and public safety. We've had the mentality of we are the responder, we are the rescuer, and we carry that burden. But the unfortunate reality is that through carrying such a burden over the years, the traumatic toll it takes on an individual, both physically and psychologically, it's unbelievable. Law enforcement have some of the highest mental health rates involving suicide, depression, anxiety of any other profession. Officers following retirement are often passing away within a very short period of time.
It's so sad. They gave their life to
sad.
serve, and
And through
that's
that service,
happening.
it's cost them 20 additional years of their lives, the golden age, as many people would call it. We've realized that you need to have some sort of hobby, some sort of way to kind of step back from knowing full well from the minute you walk in that door to the minute you leave, your life is on the line. And going home with that same mindset or mentality, it's not healthy. You don't go to sleep when you get home. You spend a couple hours out watching TV. The officers that know how to de-stress are utilizing wellness techniques. They're going to the gym. They're engaging in relaxation and meditation practices. They're acknowledging the fact that they're having back problems because of the profession and getting the help to address that. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. That's why, like Commander Lindhurst mentioned, the holistic approach of mind, body, and spirit, both physical and psychological,
Right.
is the way to help enable this.
Yeah, well said. It's what do you want to add? Anything here?
So
I feel your energy. It's like you're like yes. I want to hear more of that.
to
What
be
do you
true,
think?
I think I'm getting an opportunity to. I did have a friends back in Africa also, the police departments and all that, and the same thing while I moved over here, and the same things I got the opportunity to do here. And it's so sad that many of time people just see the first responder and police that they are so strong, nothing affects them, I think they're made of iron, So they also like a human like us, They have a problems like us, and I think when you're bringing and commander, when you're bringing this on a table, I think this will help community, across that. Okay, what they need to understand also that what is going through and what is going on in your online officers also, and I think this will send a message to the community where we all love you so much and we stand by you. And I think we all need to understand somewhere, somehow, back end that first responders have a lot of pressure. And as you mentioned, that officer, that you don't want to be under that pressure and burden, but people needs to come up and understand,
So when we, as humans, I could speak to this on, is when we don't take care of the traumas that come into us, our body keeps the score, and it comes out in some way, and that's different and unique in different people. And we've mentioned some of it before, and that's unique to different people. And in many cases, it could come into unhealthiness within ourselves. So to be able to come from a place of grounding ourselves, resetting, understanding what's happening, not beating ourselves down, all the grace in the world for ourselves, but to come from a place of like, hey, like, let's take care of our body and our mind and our spirit, especially when we're in tough jobs, is so important. Because if we don't do that, it's going to come out in some way that could be unhealthy. And life is too short, to your point, to retire and to think that you're not going to live into retirement, which would be your golden years. That's really sad. And to think you gave your life serving a community, and that happens. And so to be able to break down the chains here, to be able to be to me, in my opinion, from what you all are doing and talking with, you're very much trailblazing this and leading this initiative to see this happen throughout our communities so that we could focus in on our body, mind, and spirit, and making sure that we're good is so important. I got to ask you guys, like, what does it mean to you that, like, you're in a business right now with food. You're seeing HR companies. You're seeing construction companies. You're seeing media companies. You're seeing what else? DJ's Auto here too, a connecting company, a networking company, a business coaching company, whatever you want to call ABCs. He's a lot of those things. He does that. What do you see when you see people like this coming together and stepping out to make this possible?
I think it's a physical representation of what we know our community supports us, and we appreciate, we do not take that for granted at all. And this is a physical representation of that. And it gets us very excited that we're able to be a part of connecting this and to show our officers that our community really cares about them. Our businesses and everyone is willing to collaborate.
Literally.
Yes. And I think that's important, those reassurances to officers throughout their career. And this is a physical representation of that. It is more than a thank you. A thank you. We are very grateful for the thank yous, but this is just another level up. And it is really impressive that this has all come together. I really think it is.
It's from the outside in and coming into it, it's really humbling, but it's so hopeful.
Yes.
And to see the collaboration of people from different mindsets, different walks of life, different views, all of it coming together to think about the end in mind, which is to make sure that we have a room and a chair in our local community to be able to help our officers and our first responders take care of their body, in their mind, in their spirit.
It's very, very important.
What do you want to add to that?
You hear the term community policing so often. Community policing, community policing. What does it actually mean? And to us in law enforcement, it means ingraining ourselves into the community as a resource, not just as a reactive responder to an emergency, but being there to help with resource referrals, being there to provide assistance at the community events, helping with the businesses, and truly becoming a part of the community and integrated into everything in which it does. Initiatives such as this is flowing the opposite way. It's showing the community to the police department what they can do for us. It's having the community step up instead of the police department now serving as that resource, as them providing that service to us. And it really goes full circle with that entire concept of community policing, of all of us working together, like you mentioned, as a part of society, playing that part, and living happy and healthy lives.
Yeah, I love it.
I think an interesting part of this is over the last several years, as a police department, we have really grown our social services division in order to better serve the community. So when I started, we only had one social worker. Now we have 5 that are assigned to the police department. So we have increased our body, mind, and spirit in a way to fully support the community mentally. So now, all of a sudden, we're also doing it for all of our officers and all of our staff at the police department. And that's really nice to see.
It's helping it out.
Yes.
Jason, you mentioned something else about trailblazing. Village of Schaumburg and Schaumburg Police Department has always been a trailblazer in this community. There's a lot of organizations that look toward us for what did Schaumburg do or how did Schaumburg do it. Our society has adopted mental health as being a primary concern. We've understood that we no longer have a stigma, but a desire to help people move forward positively with their life. We are hoping that from a law enforcement and public safety perspective, this new type of initiative is just the groundbreaking. We've done a lot with peer support, we've done a lot with police psychology and actually breaking that stigma in public safety. But this is just another push toward how important that is and why our local neighbors and police departments and fire departments need to have that same focus.
Yeah, well said. In your opinion, what happens to officers, families, and the wider community if we don't prioritize mental health?
I have the same philosophy I've had with a lot, is that history repeats itself. I mentioned earlier in our discussion mental health concerns, substance abuse concerns, divorce rate, domestic violence. Again, cops are people. We have the same problems everybody else has. But with that added trauma and those added stressors, we are going to continue this trend of negatively impacting our future generation of servants, of people that want to serve our community. And we have to break that cycle. And that's what we are so hard trying to do.
Yeah, my family and in our community with Love Local, it really talks about, like, the world has become really transparent now with this thing and these social channels. Now that we know, we should have no other choice but to roll up our sleeves and start helping up so that we can break the cycle, so that we can truly leave this place better than we found it when it's our time to be able to go. And it's you know, in our spirit, it's going to take all of us to be able to be a part of that solution, because that's just how we make better, thriving communities. When this room becomes the norm for policing, what changes do you hope we'll see for officers and for our community?
I think for our officers, you're going to see officers that are healthier and more resilient throughout their career and into retirement. You're going to see officers that are able to cope with the stressors of the job in a more productive, effective way, so that their quality of life is better. When their quality of life is really good, they're able to give more out in our community. So that's what ties into the second part of your question. What is the community going to get from this? The community is going to get a well-rounded officer that understands themselves well, understands how to cope with their stresses, and is able to give that extra 100% every time they're out on the street, going to calls, answering the call for service, no matter what it is. They're going to be better prepared for that. And so that's a higher level of service in our community. And not to say that our officers are not giving a high level now, because they absolutely are. They're exceptionally trained. They're all in it for the right reasons, and we couldn't be more proud of them. But there's always some room for improvement. Yes. And I think with the wellness initiative, it's that little bit of improvement on the back end of the support part that's missing right now. It's the gap. And we're able to fill it through this.
I think it will fill the gap, you know.
I'm really honored that our team gets to help kind of bring this story to life with you. I think it's important, and I think it's important for our community to be aware that, like, this is what's true in our local community for the police and men and women who serve us, and for the first responders that serve us. Lieutenant, anything else you want to add on that question?
99.99 whatever percent of police officers are here to do one thing, and that's to help people. That's to assist people through some of the most traumatic and horrible experiences of their lives. The worst day of some of our residents' lives is just another call for service that we are dealing with. And having the officers being able to maintain grounded mentality allows them really to focus on what we're doing. It keeps an officer from being burned out or jaded. It keeps an officer healthy in their own mental right to understand what they need to do. And while a wellness room and the wellness initiative is part of this sprint, we are building out a marathon. Because at the end of the day, I think it's important that we understand that we could have done things better in our generation, and we want to set up our future generations for success.
Yeah, amen. What else do you want the community to know that we haven't touched base on as we get ready to wrap this up?
This is incredible to see. Commander Lindhurst, with her leadership efforts and initiatives in thinking outside the box, really is allowing Schaumburg to be a trailblazer when it comes to mental health initiatives within public safety. This is not possible without our community, without people like yourselves and so many others that are acknowledging the need and helping us try something new. There's going to be missteps in the process. There's going to be successes and failures, but you better believe this is going to help save lives. It's going to help the people that we ask to protect ourselves.
Awesome. Any last words from you, Commander?
I think our collaboration with the community sets a standard for others to really take action instead of just talking about it or saying we need it. And those conversations are fine, but at some point it has to be more than a conversation.
Agreed.
And this project is more than a conversation.
Agreed.
It's time to roll up our sleeves and come together.
Yes.
And make things happen that should be happening in our community for the greater good of our community.
Exactly.
So, really, thank you both. It means the world to me that you're a part of this conversation. It means the world to me that you're thinking about these things to be able to help your officers, but it's in first responders, but more like you're trailblazing it, because from what I'm learning from all of you, there's a lot of work to do to be able to bring more awareness to make sure that we could really serve our police and our first responders from the best way possible. And it starts with their body, their mind, and their spirit. I thank you, brother. Like Vasco's Peri Peri, you showed up in the community giving back, and you're in here in Schaumburg, and you're in other locations. The food is delicious, and I love it. And I will hopefully you get some to take home. Here, what are we doing? It truly takes all of us. And it takes business owners like you and the other people that we've talked with Raghu and Always Be Connecting, Dan and DJ's Auto, Ritesh with Fraction HR, Bear Construction, who's going to make this cool room that I'm sure we're going to show, and obviously the police. Like when we come together, we can change and do anything.
Definitely.
It's going to take
I agree
all
with
of
that.
us. So
Yes.
any last words from you as I get ready to close out this show?
I would say this is the ultimate solution to give back to the community. And giving back to the community, it's not a favor. It's our moral responsibility of every individual. So we cannot just sit back and say, you know what, someone did it, I don't have to. Do a small. If you cannot afford money, volunteer. If you cannot, give a smile, but do something. Go out. As we're going back to the circle again, as Ritesh started. Go. So yes, let's do something for the community, and that's it.
It's time to go. My friends, it's time to go. It's time to roll up our sleeves. It's time to do our part. Each of us are made uniquely, and we all bring a certain gift to the table. But this time in history, when the world has become so transparent and we become hyper connected, may I challenge you to look into your community and to listen to what's in your heart and what can you do to make this world better than we found it. We all have a role to play, and in order to be able to create abundance in our local communities, we need to have everybody. And so we need you rolling up your sleeves, finding what you're passionate about. Talking with the Schaumburg Police Department about mental health, to be talking about community collaboration and how we're stronger together is exactly why we built this brand and why we put a media company at the front. Because we think that the 6 degrees of separation in our community, with the transparency that we have and with the social media platforms we have, when we come to the table and have conversations in a loving way, in an uplifting way, in a real way, we could really learn what truth is. And from there, we could roll up our sleeves and we could go. And my friend, it's time to go. I'm going to leave this. I haven't said this in a little while, but it's where it all started. Support local, love local, and we're stronger together. We'll roll up your sleeves and let's go. Peace.
All right. Peace.